Hello students, this is Unit 3, Chapter 2, Lesson 2 from page 176 until page 179. That's our science class. Let's start. How heat moves. How does heat move? Heat moves from the hotter object to the cooler objects. Alright? Heat moves from the hotter objects to the cooler objects. This is how heat moves. For example, heat is transferred from the stove, which is a hot object, to the egg, which is the cold object. How heat transferred? Transferred means move. Let me write it next to it. Transferred actually means move. Okay, that's what it means. Heat is moved from the hot object to the cold object, okay? Like from the stove to the egg, that's how heat moves from the hot to the cold, from the red to the blue, from the red object to the blue object. That means from the hot object to the cold object. This way the heat moves. The transfer of heat between objects that touch each other is called conduction. Conduction. What is conduction? Conduction is the transfer of heat. That means it's the movement of heat, the way the heat moves. Transfer, I said it means move. Conduction, what is it? It's the transfer of heat between objects that touch each other. If you have two objects and they touch each other, the way the heat moves, it is called conduction. And how does it move? From the hot object to the colder object. Now let's see. How does heat move between two objects that touch each other? How does heat move between two objects that touch each other? It moves from the hot object to the, sorry about that, to the cold object. That's how it moves. From the hot object, the heat moves from the hot object to the cold object. This way it moves from the hot object to the cold object. That's the answer to the question. Let's go to another topic. Wait, to the cold object. Okay, that's the answer. Let's go to the conductor. We talked about conduction, right? We said conduction is the transfer of heat from objects that touch each other, from the hot one to the cold one. That's conduction. But what is a conductor? What is a conductor? A conductor is a material through which heat moves quickly and easily. A material that heat moves through it easily and quickly. Like a pot, like metals, like a copper, like aluminium, like iron. These materials, heat moves through them quickly. This is why most pots and pans are made of metal. Why? Because metal is a conductor. And conductors, heat moves through them quickly and easily. Heat moves through them quickly and easily. That's why. Okay, what else? Copper is also a conductor, because heat moves through a copper easily and quickly. Aluminium is also a conductor. Why? Because heat moves quickly and easily through aluminium. Iron also is a conductor. Why? Because heat moves quickly and easily through an iron. That's why they are conductors. A metallic spoon, place it in a soup, becomes hot very quickly. A metallic spoon. Why? Because metals are good conductors. They conduct heat quickly and easily. That's why if you put a spoon, a metallic spoon, in a soup, it becomes hot very quickly. However, heat does not move easily through plastic and wood. Plastic and wood, they are not conductors. They are not conductors. They don't allow heat to move through them quickly and easily. They do not allow heat to move quickly and easily. Now here we have a picture. We have a stove. Here's our fire, the stove, and this is our pot. This is our pot. Now, the heat from the hot object goes to the cold object. The heat from below goes up. The heat goes up. Do you see the red lines? This is a red arrow going up. That means heat from the hot object is going to the cold object. This is a conductor because it's made of metal. This is made of metal and it's a conductor. Heat moves through the conductor easily. It goes up easily. This is what we call conduction. It's the touch between two objects. The way heat is transferred between objects that touch each other. But here, if you notice, we have a piece of clothes. A piece of clothes is not a conductor. That's why we use it so that it doesn't burn our hands, because heat does not move through a clothes quickly and easily, because it's not a conductor. That's why we use gloves. That's why we use ovens to protect our hands. All right, let's move on. Heat from stoves or oven can make pots and pans very hot. People can burn their hands if they touch the metal. To protect their hands, people wear oven gloves. That's why we wear oven gloves, so that we protect our hand. Okay, oven gloves are made from thick material that heat cannot move easily through it. That means oven gloves are not conductors. They are not conductors. Oven gloves are insulators. What are they? They are insulator. What is an insulator? An insulator is a bad conductor. It's not a conductor. It's a bad conductor, right? It's not a good conductor. It's a bad conductor. You only feel a little bit of heat with oven gloves because it's not a conductor. It's an insulator. Fabric, plastic, wood, and air are insulators. They are all insulators. Fabric, plastic, wood, and air, they are all insulators. And what is an insulator? An insulator, as we said, an insulator is a bad conductor. That means heat cannot move through insulators quickly and easily. They cannot. But through conductors, yes. We have a picture here. Here we have a picture. This pan is very hot. The pan is very hot. That is why this man is using a plastic handle, so that his hand does not burn. If this is not plastic, if it's metal, his hands will burn. On the other hand, we have a wood spoon. This is a woodly spoon. Do you see? It's a wood. It's not a metal. Why? Because wood does not let heat move through it quickly and easily. Wood is an insulator. It's a bad conductor. It doesn't let heat to move through it easily and quickly. That's why we use wood spoons. Because if we don't use wood spoons, we will burn our hands. To protect our hands, we use wood and plastic. To protect our hands, we use wood, plastic, or we can use fabric, clothes, and so on. Okay, because they are insulators. Here it says, give 2 examples of bad conductors of heat. Give 2 examples of bad conductors of heat. Bad conductors of heat means what? It means insulators. That's what it means. Insulators. Okay. Insulators. That's what it means. Give 2 examples of bad conductors of heat. In other words, insulators. Let's give 2 examples of insulators. Insulators like wood. Insulators like what? Like wood. Let's write it down. Wood, the first one. What about another insulator? Another insulator. Like what? Like plastic. We can give the third example if you want. We can say What else? Wood, plastic, and fabric. Fabric. This is also a bad conductor. This is also an insulator. You can go for the fourth one. Air. Air is also a bad conductor. Air is also an insulator, a bad conductor, which is the same thing. Bad conductor and insulator, it means the same thing, okay? These are equal, insulators and bad conductors. Okay, let's go to the summary. Heat is something that makes things warm. People produce heat by burning kinds of fuel. Heat is used to cook food and heat houses and water. Temperature is a measure of how cold or how hot or cold something is. A thermometer is used to measure temperature. Now read this summary a couple of times on your own, okay? Read this summary a couple of times because it's important. It contains a lot of important things. Now that's our lesson. That is everything that you need to know about heat, conductors, conduction, insulators. This is everything that you need to know. Thanks for listening. That was our science class, and I am Mr. Daban Muhammad. Thanks for listening so far. Have a good time.